Solari Enterprises Teresa, making a whole lot of cash from Hackla and other sources, is testifying before the Senate Subcommittee, and they ask her, why is your Muslim cult harassing a Christian in a wheelchair? And what else are you doing with that harassment? Do you have ties to ISIS or the Taliban or the royal Saudi Arabian family? And she looks over to Enrique Vergara, waiting his turn in the seat, and right next to him is yes, the cowardly Hussein placed in our White House right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins with 9/11, and he's doing this. So he says, I'll take the fifth. Trump has made his way to the Senate Subcommittee amid a crowd chanting, recall because we can't call, or perhaps impeach because we can't call. Not one Flight 93 check in over a decade of asking, guys. No certified mail, no non-certified mail, no FedEx, no UPS. Make that video a phone gate right now. And yes, it's a GIMP program, so it's easy to change to impeach. He gets in there and the senator asks him, excuse me, I'm a handsome bald guy, I have trouble doing two things at once, but you got lots of choices. And the senator asks, why were you suppressing truth? And he said Putin was worried it'd turn into a Watergate. Full bets exploded. Be a part of getting the truth out about America's hijacked lifelines. Have a whole bunch of them on your desk, or at least one of these, and then you hand out a whole bunch of them when they ask about our hijacked lifelines. It's the reverse camera, it's hard to not one Flight 93 check in over a decade of asking. It's more than just your and our hijacked AT&T livelihoods. It's about the security of your family and America. Get it on video. Tell everyone else to do the same. So the ER doctor, Garcetti like spaghetti, is talking to Mom in the hallway, and she says, "You're sure there's no hope?" And the doctor says, "Oh yes," but he looks down at that hole in her jeans and the ragged clothes, and the child in the emergency room has the same condition. And he says, there's no hope, but yes, little Billy can go on if you just, donate the organs. And little Billy calls out from the emergency room there, "Mom, don't fall for it. I'm okay. Come get me and take me to a decent hospital other than Dignity Health." So a senator who was on the wrong side of that fiasco, that was the looking into of Trump's placement by the Russians, and he's on the wrong side of it now because Trump's had the general make sure that all of those senators or whoever else was involved in that. Yes, on the other side of that, he makes sure that when they try to call up those constituents to get support for the next term, they get that phone ringing, error message, busy signal. Yeah, I'm working on Trump's phone gate, but they're harassing. Here at T. Terrace, the Muslim Solari Enterprises is. Regional manager of Solari Enterprises is testifying before the Senate Subcommittee. Lots of documentaries of her and Enrique Vergara are lying to a lot of folks about their hijacked lifelines. And the senator asked, does your Muslim company harassing a Christian in a wheelchair and many other harassment projects, do you have any ties to ISIS, the Taliban, or Saudi Arabia's other organizations perhaps? And Teresa refuses to answer on the grounds that the cowardly Hussein is holding up his hand in the audience there to tell her to take the fifth. See a vapor trail. Be on the side. Those driving the tanks, the jeeps, the jets, beside the children and truth, make that video of your hijack call to me. I'm Melton. Been asking for a Flight 93 check for over a decade. Have yet to get one. Make that video. Time on your phone, number dialed, date in your video. Be on the side of those driving the tanks, the jeeps, the jets, beside the children and truth. And yeah, print out these things. I got a few others. All soldiers in Old English there. All clergy. All Americans, of course. Print them out. Hold them up at Newsom, Governor Newsom of California, Garcetti, and Trump photo ops. Recall because we can't call. So an archbishop in Vatican City is talking to the Pope, and he says this is for the best. All these bishops, all these archbishops are going to be around you. And when they ask about Catholic Church active part in hijack lifelines worldwide, you'll be able to say, I don't know anything about it. And actually, at the beginning, you won't have to worry at all. Because, yeah, he reaches over, puts those earplugs in, and he says, let us be your plausible deniability. Yeah, the Pope might be deaf if you're talking to him. And, yeah, when Sandra, the guardian angel, brought me that one I liked, I got a kick out of it. I hope others will too. Make those videos. You trying to call me in front of all Catholic priests and bishops. Actually, they will probably be making those videos, won't they? If they are the right kind of priests and bishops, as Sandra says. A commandant, someone in the military who teaches, admirals and generals and other officers, their kind of stuff. He has walked up to a general, and yeah, it's not one he trained, but he asked him all those questions about preparedness and America's hijack lifelines, how lifelines are an active part in any countries, much less the most powerful country in the world. Lifelines, and is that general, he just blows his top. He's angry as hell. He's yelling and screaming at that commandant, whatever they call him. I don't know. And he gets on video and he says, were you this angry? This angry and uninformed when we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins with 9/11. And yeah, he goes back to the class weight, and he says that's how you weed out those who never should have been there to begin with. Hussein's and Trump's phone gate. And yeah, a quick parable about Randall Stevenson, AT&T, bloody-handed phone gate kind of thing, having a photo op, and he's talking about how in the middle of the night, after hours, they can tell from the security camera there were a whole bunch of Russians with a few Mormons going in a decade plus of phone records just wiped clean. Like that video, if you had that call to me, not one plate 93 checking over a decade of asking, and they say one of them looked like G. Gordon Liddy. So an archbishop is before a Senate subcommittee, and the senator is asking him, you've known about Melton, John Melton Brady, demonstrating America's hijacked lifelines for over a decade. How many parishioners, those of the Catholic Church, have brought that to your attention? And the Archbishop looks over to the Pope. He's there for moral support, and the Pope's hand kind of goes up, and everybody thinks it's to, wipe a bead of sweat away. It's very hot, especially in that hat. But no, it's to wipe away a tear over what has happened to the Catholic Church in America. And the Archbishop looks a little further, and sure enough, there's that cowardly Hussein, hand up like that, telling him, take the fifth, take the fifth. Yes, that cowardly Hussein, fetus hater, telling him to take the fifth. Take the fifth. Milton stigmatized. Slowly but surely grown a new pair. If the dark part, the browner part can be even darker than that. The whitest, tannest part there between the brown and the blue can be darker or lighter, depending on the day. Yes, I'm Melton. I can't do this eye as well because I can't see the screen. Son of a carpenter and Mary. Dad a carpenter, worked on skyscrapers. Oh, Mom, Mary, yeah. I'm the son of a carpenter, Mary. I get to tell parables. Hear that siren? 911 Flight 93, check and post, stand 5. Make the video. Have you had that call to me? Not one Flight 93 check call in over a decade of asking. Get that on video. Save the video for the Senate subcommittee looking into America's high-tech lifelines. Call your senator. Try to call me. Get it on speakerphone. Ask them why they're not addressing Randall Stevenson and others' bloody-handed censorship. Bought Spectrum to harass a Christian in a wheelchair. Yeah, me. With the Harpenter cult on hand. And Google with their YouTube and Susan Wojcicki's religious hatred, active part in America's hijacked lifelines, commerce hijacking. Make that video of Susan Wojcicki stealing your business. Oh, who knows what's going on with that. Have 100 folks go to any of these links right here, and on my links Excel or wherever you can find it. YouTube.com/Melton for imagery for one, and you document Susan Wojcicki's treason for the Senate subcommittee. There's a long line of folks at the Lake Charles Hospital, and someone asks about it, and they're told, yeah, that's those federal agents preparing for the Senate Subcommittee. And the woman at the front of the line, she leans forward and whispers, does this include not only the traitor bonds, Laurie Ann Brady Bond, Samuel Lynn Bond, but the administrator and any certain doctors there? And he says, yeah, if you got phone, audio, or video of them being treasonous, by all means. And yes, also includes Elias Properties of Monroe and West Monroe, Glenwood Hospital of West Monroe. I talked to the Eliases many times over the phone, and yeah, it's my AT&T livelihood and lifeline years as well was going on and still going on. Larry, Harry, and Barry are golfing, and as they golf, there are three doctors. They're talking about what other doctors are doing, at their office or at the hospital or country club, wherever they might hang out together. And one says, what is that squirrel doing? He's been following us from hole to hole. And I look over at the squirrel, it's got something around its belly. He says, I know what that is. That's that wildlife stuff. They pick them up, they tag them, they put them out there into the wild. It's a golf course, it's not the wild. And yeah, that's a phone. Wareham Woodale, the ever-present eyes and ears of technology, following those doctors around and finding out what they're up to. Besides an active part in America's high-tech lifelines, if they're corrupt California, Utah, or Louisiana Catholic doctors. So Governor Newsom is at a photo op with Archbishop Gomez, and there are a whole lot of these there, as well as other Flight 93 check. My livelihood is AT&T, just like yours. Try to call me. It's also our lifeline. 424-229-4140. Make that video of your hijack call to me, and take all that 93 check imagery to those Garcetti and Newsom, both looking for the presidential bids and not doing a thing about the Muslim Solari enterprises with their dangerous Mideast ties, harassing a Christian in a wheelchair. Take it, ask them 24/7, wherever you see them. Why is my phone, my family's lifeline, not allowed to work as I try to call Mr. Brady? What's your very active part in that, Mayor, Governor? Yeah, stretch it a little bit this way. Let's see how that looks. I don't know what I got on a whole lot of folders, I believe. Hello. Where does it say? Save as post. There we go, right there. Over there, Fast Stone program. Then you got to turn it off. Yeah, I'm working on Trump's phone gate here. Hussein's in Trump's phone gate. A whole lot of other stuff on my desktop. I'll try and get it tomorrow when I just get started. But yeah, all fives. All Americans, all clergy. Someone asked about your desktop image. Yeah. Give them a nice 4x6 photo. Oh, that's the first one I just picked out. Like this, except a big 5 telling America how to check in post in 5. Do that. 424-229-4140. Certified email, not one Flight 93 check call or mail in over a decade of asking. Get that on video. Show the reporters and the senators how to do their jobs. We are at Bayou Desert Country Club, Monroe, Louisiana. Or it could be any country club all across America that Catholic doctors might be at, and it's half empty. And the busboy tells the waiter or the waitress why it is half empty. It's that Wirum Wadeo stuff that Catholic doctors have been requesting for all doctors for a long time. Being active with the Mormon cult and Muslim cult and that kind of thing on American soil. Yeah, everybody's got their audio makers going and saving the audios for the Senate Subcommittee. And of course, yeah, they don't want to sit next to the doctors. I'm Milton, and I'm talking to all Catholics worldwide about them placing that cowardly Hussein fetus hater in our White House, America's White House, right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins with 9/11. It was sending a message on the world stage. True believers need to undo that message. Whatever voice thing you get when you don't get me, phone ringing, error message, busy signal, not going to be boring. If you need the firemen, police, paramedics, money out of your pocket every day, and that's how they placed cowardly Hussein in our White House, right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins. You're calling up countless other Americans to tell them who they should vote for, and you get that boring thing, phone ringing, error message, busy signal. That's how they placed. The general has gone down to the police station again, using his position to get his son with a lot of drug problems out of trouble again. And the police chief says, I can't keep doing this. This is the last time. I'm having folks ask me, because your military base is so close to town, what you know about America's hijacked lifelines. And I can't keep doing this with Wirum Wadeo, all those folks with all kinds of cameras around. And the general says thanks, and before he gets out of the police station, somebody has asked about Milton. Not one Flight 93 taking over a decade of asking what the general's active part is in that. And yes, placing cowardly Husseins and incompetent Trumps in our White House. So a Google employee, executive down to lower level, the lower level don't make as much money, and they will tell you what else they're up to, like being in bed with Solari Enterprises. And they hand them a big five like that, and they try to call me in front of them. I'm Milton. I've been asking for Flight 93 checks for over a decade. I have yet to get one. They ask them, why have you been an active part in suppressing truth? With Russ and Susan Wojcicki placing that cowardly Hussein right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins, and placing that Russian guy, Trump, in our White House, holding back truth, holding back medical research, you name it. Why are you an active part in my family's lifeline? Not working. Oh, Soacam at, no. ChristComplex2 at gmail.com, where you can find Solari documentary. This is 1 hour of me trying to get Solari Enterprises to do their job as an apartment manager, and them showing themselves to be that Iranian terrorists on American soil harassing a Christian in a wheelchair. Go. So make a point of trying to call me with all of Solari Enterprises. They can't seem to make up their minds who is the regional manager, but all of them. Get them on video as you try to call me. 424-229-4140. Post. Recall because we can't call until any politician that wants to be around next term does their job. April and Ashley, two college angels. Showing the college crowd where Melton, handsome bald guy, is and how he can define graphic art with your beauty. If you talk to anyone during the past decade about my imagery or anything else, you have talked to those folks who will be the Senate subcommittee kind of thing in one way, shape, form, or another. Simple concept. When you see someone besides me, my changing eyes, in this apartment, immaculate apartment with that nice view to the east and nice view to the west, you see someone besides me. We've started doing that. Building Jesus' immaculate house. Tearing down that great wall of evil that you already see crumbling. Come see me in person and let's do that. Libertarian. Donald John Trump, president, is having folks chant here and there at his photo ops, recall because we can't call. And they ask him, why are you an active part in harassing a Christian in a wheelchair? Go my wheelchair. Who's been asking America to check their lifelines? Oh, outside America too. Why are you active in harassing him by not doing your job? There are lots of regulatory agencies with salary enterprises who could force them to do their job with the folks who've been harassing him underneath him, the Muslim and Mormon cults, for over a decade. Well, for 2.5 years. And he says, well, I'm hoping someone will just up and kill him, so I want to hear about that at the photo ops. So Putin is at a photo op in Russia, and someone asks, why can't I reach Melton, John Milton Brady, 424-229-4140, not one plate, 93 check, and over a decade of asking. And Putin says, oh, this is Russia, it's not America, you want Trump's number. I got it. Well, of course he does. He's looking after his investment. And he gets out his phone and gives them Catholic Governor Newsom and Jewish Mayor Garcetti as well, conducting harassment against a Christian in a wheelchair, me, and you, that your family's lifeline not working as you try to call me. A Governor Newsom of California is at a photo op, and they ask him, why aren't you doing your job protecting a Christian in a wheelchair? Why are you doing the exact opposite of your job with those cowardly Hussein placers? When else will my family's life will not be allowed to work, Governor, because of what you're doing? And the last question is, how much are the kickbacks you're getting from the dangerous Muslims of Salari Enterprise, Iranian Muslims? And he fidgets around, looks a little sheepish, and he says, well, I don't know. I'm just waiting for the whole thing to blow over to get that, maybe they'll just up and kill him, those Mormons and those Muslims there. And that's when they get that, he gets impeached. Impeached because you can't reach. Impeached because you can't reach. Muslim, Mormon, Catholic, whatever he's supposed to be, he's not doing the Christian thing. He's not doing his job either. Is the devil Lori Ann Brady Bonds? 7-11 marriage. Married her gay husband, Samuel Lynn Bond. Chenault Park in West Monroe. The same year, yes, on the September 7th, and we all know what happened on the 11th, or it's the same year as the 11th. And Mu, an Iranian, married to Cheryl Bond of the LA Department of Water and Power, in charge of 1 in 30, Americans, water and electricity. She's a little drunk and she's cussing everybody out. She says, you decadent Americans. If we want something, we just take it. Like your lifelines. Try to call me right now, 424-229-4140. See if the devil is stealing your call past decade plus. So Trump is at a photo op and they've got a whole bunch of big fives. They hand them out to those at or near the photo op, and also this Mormon, Muslim, AT&T, Chinese, YouTube watch call list image as a poster. And one of the folks at the photo op, reporter or somebody else, his wife's there. He makes a video of her call to me being hijacked, and he wants to know from President Trump. We call because we can't call. Are the Iranians attacking us through Solari Enterprises in Los Angeles? Why can't I reach this man? Why has he been asking for a Plate 93 check for over a decade? Hasn't gotten one? Is Cheryl Bond with the Department of Water and Power with his middies Iranian Mu Bond? Why? Is he okay? Why can't I reach this man Milton? But remember to post and get that chant going. Recall because we can't call. Governor Newsom, why have you been actively involved in harassing a Christian in a wheelchair? Active in my family's hijack lifelines. The senator at the Senate Subcommittee gets right to the point. And Governor Newsom kind of mumbles something. Big work, Governor. Handsome bald guy. And he mumbles again when he asks again, and then he finally says, "Oh, I heard that governors couldn't be called before a Senate subcommittee." And then they ask him about connections to ISIS and Taliban, because of the nature of harassment of Christian in a wheelchair here in Eagle Rock, Solari Enterprises, and Cowardly Hussein out in the audience is doing this, so he takes the fifth. I'm working on getting these all together, but for those of you out there who are looking out for the best interests of America despite incompetent Trump and yes, cowardly Hussein placing right up, we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins. Whenever you see these like September 14th, September 15th, that's when Iranian Muslim Solari Enterprises has the man down below harassing a Christian in a wheelchair. So who knows what else they're doing. But the man was screaming in Shauna's office about calling the police. And I don't feel safe calling them up even with an anonymous complaint, and I sure didn't get any results from that. So call up Solari Enterprises, see them in person, and try to call me and ask what federal agencies are in charge of protecting Christians in a wheelchair. And yeah, these are when Utahnians are back and forth between Utah, I've talked about it before, the snot-nosed, in bed with the dangerous Muslims from overseas like Solari Enterprises, Iranian ties, and yeah, I often make that because I've heard the groups mentioned a few times, the AT&T side and the patio side. They have that Teresa Bridgeport or Enrique Vergara or whoever is supposed to be the top of Solari Enterprises. They can't tell me. Maybe you can find out. They have them in the Senate Subcommittee chair, and they ask, do you have ties to the Taliban, ISIS, any of those Mideast countries? And they always take that fifth in my fun parable. I'm Melton, son of a carpenter Mary. Now, when you make that video, that's a definite threat to our security, not one Flight 93 checking over a decade of asking. And I'm glad to see someone on the YouTube thing or the links thing, they're making presidents accountable. I guess they had enough with the cowardly Hussein and his ties to the same folks. But I saw that just a couple of days ago about how, yeah, you don't get to skip all when you're that bloody-handed. Make a video of Trump and Hussein's bloody hands. I can't design my August phone gate with the new recall because we can't call. I can't design it because of high-tech toys affecting not this computer that's connected to the internet, but the one in the bedroom. That's not. Make that video of, and yeah, chant at every Jewish Mayor Garcetti, Catholic Governor Newsom, Presbyterian, yes, he's over there, the Presbyterians on the other side of that new high-priced apartment complexes over there. Recall because we can't call. Get that chant going and ask Trump, why are you an active part in harassing a Christian in a wheelchair? What else are you doing? All those folks, recall because we can't call, and Solari Enterprises bring their damn phone off the hook. Ask him, why are you such a threat to America and an active part in America's hijacked lifelines? Remember to post and recall again and again and again. Solari Enterprises with their dangerous Muslims on site here. And very cold to calculate as much as the Devil Lorian Brady Bond is cold to calculate. Making that noise, turning it off, making the noise. And yes, I'm pretty sure management, at least the Shauna there in the office, let the very angry Muslim in the apartment down below know I'd gone across the street to get pills or food 2 months ago. And yes, he laid in wait and was screaming at me in her office. Once again, if you know anybody who can The hate I saw at Hussein's of Arabia with that only place I could find to live for 3 years. It wrote that image up there, Solari Enterprises, writes this one. It's very true. You know about the Muslim missionary effort. Come protect the Christian in a wheelchair, show me a decent place to live, and get Trump, Garcetti, Newsom. Get that chant going. Recall because we can't call. And if you know that news story, or there was a lady on I just glanced at it, who was trying to get that as a bill or something. See if you can email it to Trump, text it to him, and get him to do something for the dangerous Muslims of Solari Enterprises that are keeping you from calling me. And you don't know when else your phone won't be allowed to work. Not one comment on any of this Flight 93 tech imagery of the Taliban torsos or any of my graphic art. Get it on video. Solari Enterprises Muslim hate. In LA, 1 in 30 Americans lives in LA County. It's a danger. Those Solari Enterprises folks, get it on video and get those folks not doing anything about that dangerous hate. It's religious hate. It's same as place in the cowardly Hussein in our White House right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins. How'd they do that? Whatever boring thing you get, that's my template for Trump's PhoneGate August. Part of it. Whatever boring thing you get when you can't get me, phone ringing, error message, busy signal, that is more than just money out of your pocket, AT&T's livelihood. Oh, here it is. It is Lori's hatred run wild. I swear the devil. Personal knife in the back sister is down below. No comments on that image either. Or any of my Tommies. Come protect Chris in a wheelchair, protect America, protect your family by putting a spotlight on this dangerous Muslim hatred. With Solari Enterprises in Eagle Rock, a neighborhood in northern Los Angeles, ask them, why are you doing that? Are you planning a revolution? Are you planning an invasion? If so, the Russians, the Mideast? Why can't I reach this man? Why has he been asking for a Flight 93 check for over a decade without getting one? Why are the Muslims and the Mormons so overcome, Chinese as well, with anger around here? So hateful of a man who wants to build Jesus' immaculate house here on earth with thousand points of light. Make that video, make those videos, get that chant going at all those folks in office. Recall because we can't call. What else are the Muslims doing? President Trump, Mayor Garcetti, Governor Newsom, what else are those dangerous Muslims doing? When else will my family's lifeline be affected by your malfeasance? I'm going to use this video instead of the one I made in bed, but yeah. This is the one. I have my preset set to KUSC. It's the only thing I listen to in bed, just about. And hear that siren? That's what it's on, and that's not what it was started with. Whatever the hell KCRW of Santa Monica going on and on, retarded, angry bitch, going on and on about Sam and Sam Jr. I'm not sure what the hell they were talking about, but they changed the presets. Woke me up with that, and then it wouldn't change back. That's the devil, Lori Ann Brady Bond, right there. The devil, Lori Ann Brady Bond, driving a white SUV about a decade ago. She is broken down by the side of the road with car karma yet again. Her gay husband Samuel Lynn in Lake Charles, Louisiana, has that trouble as well as his a gay brother, Cheryl Bond, in Los Angeles. Actually, he doesn't live in Los Angeles. I always thought that was with his Mideast wife. He lives in Ventura County somewhere, I believe, Thousand Oaks. Or at least he did. With the Department of Water and Power in charge of 1 in 30 Americans' water and power. Someone's handed out their photos on those big fives and her other imagery so that you can try to call me with them on speakerphone. Ask them, how do you get your phone to work to taunt melt? And you might need to know that. Should your phone not be allowed to work when you're in a burning building, perhaps? Samuel Lynn Bond is at work, and a co-worker asked him a question. Have you had connections to the Taliban or ISIS before your naval career, during your naval career, or after your naval career? And with the gayest sounding voice you've ever heard, Samuel N. Bond whines, "What?" And the coworker simply explains, that's what they're asking me and other co-workers, and we'd like to have something to tell them. And he just lets out that devil's rage of the devil, Lori Ann Brady Bond. You can hear it all over that hospital, stories up, out in the parking lot. And yes, 4 or 5 are getting nice audio, at least, of the devil's bride, Samuel Lynn Bond. My same symmetry goes a long way. So they're desperate as anything, and they literally, as I went down to see my doctor in to see me, Christian in a wheelchair, they picked that one time for the Shauna manager to be here, and I can't talk, I'm picking the doctor up, doctor and his assistant, and yeah, the band called again and again, and the man who has been harassing with noise laid in wait for me as I went across the street, then screamed at me, and in a devil Lori Ann Brady Bond way, screamed at me. Her gay husband as well way screamed at me. And Solari Enterprises office down there. I'll try to call them up. 323-810-4959.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. The Parish Department's emergency phone system is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Is Miss Brady calling from apartment 409 about the hateful noise coming from apartment 309? And I still haven't heard back from you or Solari Enterprises about the man laying in wait for me as I went across the street to get food and then screaming at me in your office, Shauna. I haven't heard back from any of those folks about what you're doing about that man who is harassing a Christian in a wheelchair with noise. And yes, screaming at me in Shauna's Solari Enterprises office. I've told you in previous messages, and I haven't heard back from you from was it a week ago? I called 5 times. It's been 2.5 years that Enrique who's now supposed to be the regional manager of Solari Enterprises.
With an anonymous complaint because the man's screaming at me in your office about calling the police when I didn't.
He got a promotion,
Can
Enrique
you do something
did,
about it? I know you've got that
for
security guard.
not
here.
doing anything about the very Muslim company he works for and the very Muslim
Something about the noise.
and Mormon folks in the apartment down below harassing.
I need you, if nothing else.
I mean,
Go call in my anonymous complaint so the man's not screaming at me. Do something for him screaming at me. Solari Enterprises.
remember to get that chant going
I can't get an answer out of them on the phone. They're just different.
at
folks
Trump's
claiming to be the
photo
regional
ops,
supervisor.
Catholic, Presbyterian
There's,
Trump,
Bridgeport, and
Catholic,
Aurora.
Governor
Can I get
Newsom, and
Solari Enterprises?
Jewish mayor.
What's his or her
Garcetti,
name? And why
I don't
aren't they
know.
doing
I have
anything
to
about
Google
the man
what
screaming at me?
Michael
in your
Moore of the
office.
LAPD
And
is,
yes, I'd like the video of that. So
but
that it
they're
doesn't
not
get
shy.
swept
They'll have
under the rug.
photo ops about
you
shooting
talk
down
to
unarmed man,
Glenn?
that kind of thing.
Is there anything with
Hold up
the
those big
anything
fives at
protects-
all of their photo ops and ask them, when else will my family's lifeline be affected by your treason, your malfeasance, your hatred of Christianity, truth, and saints? When will my family's lifeline be affected? Michael Moore, LAPD, being bit slapped by the Mormons, the Muslims, from the apartment down below tonight, as well as Mayor Garcetti, Governor Newsom. I didn't even touch it, it turns on. That's high-tech toys taunting, I think, to drain the battery. Make that video. Hold up those big fives, get that chant going. Recall because we can't call. And ask Michael Moore and whatever. The county and the state troopers of Louisiana, Utah, and California. Why are you an active part in our hijacked lifelines? Why can't we reach this man, John Milton Brady? They pass the buck to the feds, you get names. Post, whatever you get when you don't get me. Recall because we can't call. Why are you being bit slapped instead of doing your job? California, in particular, law enforcement. Eagle Rock's covered by all three, aren't they? If one's not doing the job, get the others too. And put those numbers, all of them, California's, Louisiana's, Utah's, cops, and officials. You try to call me with them on speakerphone, not one Flight 93 check in a decade of asking. Ask, why are you harassing a Christian in a wheelchair in Eagle Rock? When else will my phone not be allowed to work? The devil Lori can reach me by phone. Ask her how she does that. Get them screaming out. What else? When else? They are involved in America's hijacked lifelines or other things that compromise our security. And yes, ask Devil Lori, her gay husband Samuel Lynn Bond, his gay brother Cheryl Bond with the Department of Water and Power, and Mo Bond, that Iranian wife of Cheryl's. What's your part? You see them broken down by the side of the road because of car karma? Try to call me in front of them. Find out what else they're involved in. The general runs into the Oval Office and he says, I want you to watch this montage of photo ops. And to start it off, it's Governor Newsom and Mayor Garcetti at their own separate photo ops wearing sunglasses. They're not, yeah, it's not about Hollywood, unfortunately. And they ask him about the photo op reporters, and each of them say, well, it's not because I'm being bit slapped. Oh, Michael Moore of the LAPD, being bit slapped tonight as the Mormons just give him the finger, well as all other California cops. It's not because of that, and yeah, Trump won't let me answer any questions about America's high-tech lifelines, and yes, Trump at the photo op tomorrow will be telling everybody I can't answer that question with those sunglasses on. Putin won't let me. John of the Military Pitbull Project has a whole lot of good Christian folks assembled. Could be a church group, could be a civic group. But he's showing them a documentary, and he's also handing out a whole bunch of numbers of folks that need to be called. And then you try to call me in front of them via speakerphone or literally in front of them. And he shows them a documentary of countless, from Utah, from Louisiana, from California, from across the United States. All of them are Mormon cult folks and Muslim-related folks. But they all have brown hair. The ones with impersonators of yours truly have brown, angry females with brown hair and their gayer husband or boyfriends, and they say they are all spin-offs of what's in Lake Charles. You call the ones in Lake Charles 24/7 and these as well. Find out what we can't reach melt, what else they're doing, compromise of security.